Greetings and welcome back. It is your girl, Goddess, with another Sacred Woman chapter. This week we are discussing Sacred Woman chapter 12, and in chapter 12 we will be discussing um, sacred relationship. Last week we went over our sacred healing, and it was nothing, it was everything I expected. I really hope that you found your peace of mind. Turn Janae Aiko down. So that is like one of my absolute favorite songs. That song is called Ways by Janae Aiko. Um, yeah, that song really pays tribute to our sacred healing. So yeah, I was just letting this song and the frequency and the love of this song just fill up the space. All right, so I would sit up here and like literally vibe out to Janae all day. I love her music. I love the frequency she puts out. I love the content she puts out, the femininity aspect behind it. But getting back into what we came here to do today, which is to get into this book by Queen Afua and get into our sacred relationships. So the ancestors we will be paying homage to for this particular gateway, and this is Gateway 7, by the way. The spiritual guardian is Ma'at. If y'all don't know, I got my at tatted on my back because, you know, gotta live by the principles. But I really resonated with this particular spiritual guardian, so that is why she is tattooed on my back. Um, Sojourner Truth and Sarah and Elizabeth Delaney are the ancestors we will be working with. The elders are Queen Nzinga Ratabisha Haru, and the contemporaries are Oprah Winfrey, Iyanla Van Zant, and Lady Prima. Let me tell y'all, um, just before we get into this chapter, that this was one of the first chapters I read in this book. Before, okay, there was, if y'all saw that on my teeth, I'm glad I fixed that because it was a piece of watermelon seed. I like to chew the watermelon seeds versus than spitting them out because they're seeds. Y'all eat sunflower seeds all the time. Um, yeah, they're really good. Anyways, but this was one of the first chapters I read when getting into this book. I don't know why I was so drawn to this chapter, and as we go through this reading today, I would, or I am going to really express why I love this chapter, this particular chapter, so much. So let's get right into chapter 12. We are going to start by sitting up nice and tall. Today I'm taking the seat of power. You can choose to sit in an easy seat, which is lotus. You can lay down for your breath work today. You can do what feels most natural and divine to your being at this particular time. So, what I'm going to do, what we are going to do, is engage in our breath work, right? So, go ahead and sit up nice and tall. Make sure your spine is aligned. Take that initial deep breath in and bring your mind to some stillness. Be grateful that you showed up for for yourself today. Be grateful for this moment of being able to be present, that you are choosing self this week. Okay, that you have continued to choose self for the past 7 days into these next 7 days, and the elevation is continuing to shine through you, right? So, sitting up nice and tall, spine nice and erect. Take a deep breath in through the nasal cavity. This week I want to do, so bring your hands like this. You're going to have your pointer finger and your middle finger down with your thumb finger out and your, what is this, your ring finger and your middle finger, your ring finger and your pinky finger out. So you'll look like this. Now what I want you to do is take these two fingers, the pinky and the ring finger, and put them on the right nostril. Take a deep breath in through the left nostril. Hold that breath. Close off the left nostril with the thumb and exhale through the right nostril. Take a deep breath in. Hold the breath. Close off the right nostril. Exhale through the left. And we're just going to repeat that. So inhale through the left. Hold off the left nostril. Exhale through the right. Take a deep breath in through the right nostril. Hold off the right nostril, closing it off. Exhale. Push out through the left. Inhale through the left. Close off through the left. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Hold the breath. Close the nostril off. Exhale through the left. Last one. Take a deep, nice and slow this time. Inhale. Close off the left nostril. Exhale slowly. Through the right. We're going to take it a step further this week. We're going to roll our shoulders back. Because before you can develop a relationship with anybody else, it is important to develop a relationship with self. It is important to dive deep within yourself. So we're just rolling the shoulders back, rolling away any of our worries, any problems that we had today. And now we're going to roll the shoulders forward. And we're thinking about all the progress that we can make and all the progress we will make in our forward motion, continuing to strive for our elevated selves and continuing to trust the universe and continuing to have belief and faith that we are backed completely by the universe and we attract what we need. Bring your arms around yourself and take a deep inhale in. Exhale, twist the spine, look over the right shoulder. Inhale, bring it back all the way around to the other side. Right hand is on the left knee. Inhale. Exhale, look over the left shoulder. Inhale, bring it back to center. Wonderful. And I think it's just extremely dope that this today I would choose to wear these particular pants. Look at these pants. These are my I still can fit into them pants. You know how you have that one pair of pants that you're like, please let me please still fit into these pants. That means I haven't gained as much weight as I think I've gained with all of my eating habits. You know, these are those pants for me. These are how I continuously like am checking my weight, okay? Because I won't get on the scale. I'm not a big fan of scales. That number on that scale is the destroyer, okay, of 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 wealthy, healthy, spiritual advances. Okay, um, no. Okay, put on a pair of pants, nice t-shirt. If you look good in it, you like the way you look, then that's what you walking and working with. Okay. Excuse me. So, thank you for joining into that breath work really quickly. And now, I have some copal incense going that cleared and purified my space. I'm going to call on, like I do every beginning of our reading sessions. I'm going to initiate the four. Um, oh my gosh, why is the word evading my mind? I'm going to call on the four elements. So I pay homage, not elements, directions. I pay homage to my ancestors in the north, the south, the east, and the west. Ashe. And then I pay homage to my ancestors, Sojourner Truth, Sarah and Elizabeth Delaney. Take this time to pour libations for your ancestors. Take this time and pour and say your ancestors' names and pay homage to them and respect them, because without them there would be no you. Okay? Period. And of course, these pants, y'all can't see them, but I mean, I probably should get up and do a little 1-2, hey, but I'm not. These pants are from Windsor. I absolutely love that store. It's like one of my favorite stores to shop at. Like, we're not gonna start today. We're not going to start today. It's too early. It's too early. Okay. But absolutely love that store. If you don't know about Windsor, make sure you check out Windsor. You can definitely order items from them online. They don't pay me or anything, but if y'all want to start paying your girl for some promotion, hi. But yeah, Windsor, they continuously get items like on a weekly basis. Yeah, I love Windsor. Anyways, continuing with so this week gateway, okay, is the elements. Okay, so gateway 7 is sacred relationship, daily spiritual observances. The gateway element is air. I love air. Air is just so free and flowy and yes, ma'am. All right, so sacred relationships eliminate toxic, dysfunctional, and disjointed relationships that destroy one's life. Sacred relationships create cleansed, honest, and harmonious relationships that energize one's life. Fulfilling healthy relationships are the results of establishing sacred relationships. Gateway 7, Gateway 7, sacred relationships will eliminate blockages in the body temple, such as ulcers, heart conditions, and drug and alcohol abuse. Spiritual exercises of ascension are to be performed daily for 7 days, the number for the spirit. This will awaken your inner gateways of divinity so that you may blossom to your full sacred center. Y'all already know what I'm getting ready to say. We back in it for another 7 days. She already told y'all that's a sacred number. That's the number for spirit. All right, so we back in it for another 7 days, starting today. Don't quit. Don't give up on yourself. You can do this. You've made it this far. You have been progressing, and you're doing great. So it's like I'm very proud of you. I'm proud of you because you've been showing up and showing out. Okay, excuse me. The spiritual bath for this week, the oil that she is thing that we should utilize for this week is lavender. Lavender, for me, okay, I'm gonna just read. So she recommends using 4 to 6 drops of lavender or ylang ylang oil in your bath water. Lavender oil acts as a sedative for the nervous system. It also acts as an anti-inflammatory and heart tonic. Ylang ylang treats anger, rage, and nervous depression. Ylang ylang is a very potent scent and should be applied sparingly. So I didn't read everything. You all know that I'm not going to read everything because I encourage and highly recommend that you read the information provided in the text for yourself. She goes on to talk about how to set up your altar. The altar is going to be located on page 293. I am reading from page 294. If you didn't know, now you know. I'm reading from page 294. I'm going right into number 3, which is opening of the gateway. So I am going to read that. Sacred and divine Ma'at, spiritual guardian of the gateway of sacred relationships, please accept my deepest gratitude for your healing presence on my altar and in my life. Thank you for your guidance and inspiration and for your love and blessings, and please accept my love and blessings in return. Ekep, or you can say Ashe, or you can say, you know, Inshallah, or Amen, Hallelujah, whatever works, resonates with you, sis. I'm not here to judge. So she also talks about pouring the libations. Y'all already know, read it yourself, do it yourself. We've been doing this for quite some time now. Sacred Woman Spirit Prayer. Sacred Woman in the making, Sacred Woman reawaken. Sacred Spirit, hold me near, protect me from all harm and fear. Beneath the stones of life, direct my steps in the right way as I journey through this vision. Sacred Spirit, surround me in your most absolute, perfect light. Anoint me in your sacred purity, peace, and divine insight. Bless me, truly bless me, as I share this sacred life. Teach me, Sacred Spirit, to be in tune with the universe. Teach me how to heal with the inner and outer elements of air, fire, water, and earth. Sacred Woman, Sacred Relationship Prayer. Divine Creator, I stand in need of sacred relationships. I pray for sacred relationships in my life. First, may I create a sacred relationship with you, Creator, and with my parents, children, sisters, brothers, friends, associates, co-workers, teachers, and students with nature, and with all my relations. Divine Creator, help me to attract and establish harmonious, wholesome, and healthy relationships. Help me to unblock and release old hurt, feelings, resentment, and hostility that are trapped within my body temple. Help me to have the vision and the strength to learn from all my relationships as they are my reflections, each and every one. If by chance my relationships do not change, may I remain unfazed and on point. May I be the one to create new links of change and transformation for my ancestors, my descendants, and myself. For all healing really begins within me. I affirm that each one of my relationships has value and in some way has forced or helped me to grow into a more sacred relationship with myself. As I reflect on the true purpose and sacredness of relationships, I give thanks to the divine in me and the divine in all others. Number 7, chant the Hesi. That sounded so weird, chant the Hesi, or it's called, chant and then Hesi. I am a sacred woman. 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 This week, we are doing 800 fire breaths, okay? 800 of them things. So, I don't know how you all have been getting through it. I don't know how y'all been getting through all 800 of them. Or last week was 700. This week we on 800. So let's go. All right, let's go, y'all. This particular chapter, like the last, with these last chapters, I tend to become they touch more in, in in places where healing is very much needed for me. Like most of us, sacred relationships and just sacred healing in general, and just knowing that relationships are a part of your healing process because without interactions from others, you you wouldn't. I don't want to say that you wouldn't need to heal, but your healing process would be difficult. So, just taking relationships in the last chapters, um, I appreciate you all for listening to me. Immense gratitude, and I just know that getting into this chapter, it is going to be heavy on your girls. So if I cry, and I'm not going to edit it out. So if I cry, just roll with it, okay? Because I gotta roll with it, and I gotta keep pushing through. Okay, so here we go. Sacred. So after the fire breath, she goes on to talk about sacred relationship meditation. I will more than likely be dropping a um, podcast link in the description box. So keep your eyes out for that meditation. Herbal tonics. This week we into chamomile tea or chamomile. How do y'all say that? Is it chamomile? Like MILE, or do you say chamomile? I've heard it said both ways. I normally say chamomile. I don't know why I just say chamomile. I mean, but it does say mild though. So maybe, I don't know. Anyways, use it, okay? That's our herbal tonic for the week. I'm not going to tell you how to make tea because you should already know how to do that and not that messy stuff either. Shady boots. Bye. So yeah, make your tea. And then this week the flower essences are calendula, which is used for communication, receptiveness, listening to others, heals argumentative tendencies. So for all my pop-out chicks, I'm gonna need y'all to drink that this week. Fawn lily to develop intimate and warm contact with others. Mallow, ease in developing friendships, warmth, and trust. Greater social warmth, ability to sustain soulful relationship with others, especially friendships. For all of my introverts out there, get this. Violet helps address inability to share one's essential self in a group situation, fear of losing one's identity if too close to others. Pink yarrow helps address oversensitivities to others, lack of emotional boundaries. Mm. Forget me not, perceiving deeper karmic bonds within relationships, ability to acknowledge spiritual destiny and intent of relationship. Say what, say what? Poison oak helps address difficulty in yielding or showing a soft side, fear of what we're not going to do is play with me. Vulnerability, creating barriers, disability, and hostility. For this week, the diet, she wants you to look at the transitional dietary practices presented for Gateway 7 through 8. We went through that in the way beginning of this book, so go back, look into your book, get into that. As always, I highly encourage that you keep your sacred journal handy. Okay, I keep a few of these on deck. Okay? So, yeah. Make sure you're journaling this week. Um, so, a quick tip, she says, consult Seshetta. If you find that you aren't able to contact your inner voice during your journal work, call Seshetta, the keeper and revealer of secrets who is indwelling to insist and speak through you. I feel like somebody needed that reminder. So, go back in the book, look for Seshetta, read up on it, and go within self, like she says, and contact Seshetta so it can help you with your journaling this week. Y'all already know my sacred Charlotte quilt is my head wrap, period. So what for who? My bad. Not. Sacred tools. Ooh, so this week sacred tools are a white ostrich feather to be your ma'at feather, a sacred scale for weighing your heart and your ma'at feather, beautiful feathers to create a feather fan for purifying the atmosphere when you speak to harmonize your relationships. Honestly, I feel like some of y'all should have been had a feather, especially if you do, clearing work, purification of your homeless space. You use that feather to work your space and move that smoke around. I love feathers. They're mad feminine. I made sure my ad had her feather at the top of my neck. But, like, different folks, different strokes. Does that apply here? Y'all gotta get better with my analogies because I don't know. Anyways, moving along. Sacred reminder. Through the week, you are to observe closely the wisdom presented in Gateway 7, Sacred Relationships. For maximum results, live freely in tune with the various systems of wellness presented and practice the 7-day transformative work at the end of the Gateway. Okay? Closing sacred words. Mother, Father, Divine, help me to heal and honor my significant relationships and to transform them into sacred relationships. Oh. Transitional dietary practices for Gateway 7 and 8. That's located on pages 298 and 299. There's also a meditation. She suggests that you meditate 5 to 15 minutes daily. I'm not going to read all of this. Why? Because this is like creme de la creme. I got my seat let back, top let back, riding my Chevy. Yeah, so make sure that you tap into your dietary practices for this week. And the reading will begin on page 300. So, sacred relationships. Relationships are the arms and legs of the womb, the extension of a woman's inner space. In order for a woman's womb to be at peace, she needs to be at peace in all of her relationships. Those with people, with food, with nature, and of course, with herself. Because review each of your significant relationships in your own way and allow each one to become your teacher. Empty your heart of all resentment and become receptive to the lessons that each relationship brings to you. Surrender to the love that each and every lesson offers so that you will not hold on to pain. Undigested pain or grief or anger held in your body grows into illness. Relationships have the potential to provide both joy and sorrow. Duality, people. Unfortunately, I don't, okay, balance, okay? Unfortunately, there can be many sources of relationship pain. Perhaps the most tragic is the hurt and disappointment caused by intimate relationships with family members or friends, someone known and trusted. Emotional or energetic harm or violation from a person you thought you could trust to love and respect you creates deep resentment. Ooh, that's a good song. I love that song by Beyonce. Maybe I should play it. Resentment. Y'all remember that? No? Y'all don't remember resentment? Don't be. Don't be like that. Don't even do that, okay? So, where was I? Anger or rage that requires committed healing work. Too often we retreat from dysfunctional relationships or deny the true depths of the problems in an effort to soothe our wounds. Yet, we must take self responsibility now and begin to try to understand the lessons of our relationships. Relationship wounds must be healed, or or they repress or their repressed energies will solidify on a spiritual, emotional, and physical level. So she got an affirmation for us to do. Affirm now and from now on, my womb is my sacred nest. My womb is my sacred nest in which I hold all my relationships. No one will enter into the womb of my mind, the womb of my heart, or the womb of my womb unless they are at their best, pure and clean. Join me, all my relations, in my natural living lifestyle. Join me in my peace of mind, in my state of divine bliss. My womb speaks peace to all my relations, and so my relationships speak peace to my womb. I bless all my relationships. Ashe. Okay, and that's super important to do and to be mindful of as well. Like, why would you allow some negative Nancy or negative what's a negative negative Nancy? I don't know a boy name that start with an N. The only name that really comes to mind when I think about like boy names, unfortunately, is Ned Flanders from The Simpsons. That's mad corny, but yeah. Nas, but I really like Nas. I really do. I really like Nas. So I don't think I really want to use him as an example because he's not negative. And matter of fact, we're gonna play some Nas and Lauryn Hill in the background, um, just for a little bit because I would like to listen to Nas. All right, my mother, my heart. The relationship we daughters have with our mothers is primal. It is the first and most potent connection we have with anyone. It began by living inside our mother's bodies for 9 months. Before emerging into the world, she was our first caretaker and nurturer. Even if we've had a difficult relationship with our mother from the very beginning, we still have an irreplaceable bond. Thus, mothers and daughters have shared life energy from the Creator. We've shared things that we share with no one else, and whether we think so or not, no matter what human shortcomings our mother may possess, she does love us in her own way, and we love her, sometimes in spite of ourselves, in our way. And when our mothers pass over, we discover that there is an empty place in our heart and our lives that no one else can fill. The ancient African priests and priestesses of Kemet prayed to the Great Mother. I am not going to attempt to read that because I don't want to slaughter it and mess up a beautiful prayer. Reading these words, I open up my sacred first eye, right above my brow, where my melanized nectar pours forth to allow me to receive from the Spirit. I ask the meaning of my mother, my heart, and this is what I was given in my moments of prayer. Within your heart is your sacred mother. There she sweetly sits and holds counsel. There she handles our matters of your heart center. Come to Holy Mother in prayer for the healing of hurt feelings and emotional disharmony in all your relationships. Come to Holy Mother for soothing relationships, for soothing comfort, excuse me. Come for heart wounds and scars that are ready for healing. There's a healing meditation for the heart. I probably will not do that one, but make sure you read that and get into that on your own time. Um, yeah, definitely do that. A love message on behalf of our earthly mothers. I put a green star by this one. I must have really loved it. If you are carrying resentment for your earthly mother, see, I'm telling on myself, not telling on myself. If you are carrying resentment, we'll get into it. Resentment for your earthly mother, release your burden, cleanse your heart in your meditation. Open up and just thank your mother no matter what. Hug her body and kiss her hands in the flesh. Or if she sits among the ancestors, embrace her spirit sweetly and offer her a spiritual gift. For your mother did the best she could with what she had to work with. Forgive her and your blessings will flow like a waterfall. Because I put a star by that because the relationship between my mother and I wasn't always, you know, it wasn't always like peaches and cream. And I couldn't figure out why for the longest time, like, or how or when, the change occurred. I just know at one point we went from always playing together to me always constantly, either, not always constantly, but it seemed like I was, first of all, I'm the oldest. So I had a lot of responsibilities within the household. Like, when I bought my first car, I had to, help with taking the children, like they my kids. I had to start, helping around the house, assisting with, getting them to and from cheerleading practice and let's see, there was cheerleading practice, there was football practice, and there was track practice. So, you know, it was just a lot, and I just couldn't, for the life of me, try to figure out like what changed the dynamic of me and my mother's relationship um, so early on. Like it just went from, and maybe that just comes with growing and developing, becoming a teenager. Um, but even before then, like people would say stuff up to me about my mother, and that's my mama. So you're gonna catch these hands. Period. Like very much love my mother dearly. Would still love my mother very dearly, and she's still here with us. And it it was and still is a learning curve. Like I learned things about my mother. Glad that's over. So I'm learning things about my mother even as I continue to mature in my own life. I'm still learning about who exactly she is, and I think that is honestly the best thing for me because I try to remain an open book to my child in regards of how I mother and what I present. Uh, so definitely continue to love your mother because they did do the best that they could do. While it may not have seemed like it was all like it was the best, like they definitely played the hand that they were dealt, and you what you do after that is it's really up to you. Does it hurt some of the things they may have done? Possibly. Uh, did you learn a lesson from it? I pray you did. I really hope you did. Did you apply that lesson? If you didn't, when will you start to apply it? What does your growth look like to you? How long can you put off what your mother did years ago and continue to hold her accountable for that? Or when are you going to step up to the plate and start holding your own self accountable? These are some of the questions that I had to start asking myself, and I really had to take reflective measures and say, this is what I need to do to better myself, and I have to let this hurt and this pain from this relationship. Um, I have to transmute that pain into something else. It has to grow into something more beautiful. It has to become a passion. And, I can't allow it to hinder me. So I'm going to keep reading because I'll keep talking because I like to talk. Sacred motherhood. As far back as I can remember, I felt in my soul that mothering was an all important work. Me too. Uh, and I wanted very much to become one. I waited most of my life to finally become a mother. Well, it did happen. I birthed and I mothered 3 children, nurtured and mothered a few husbands and many friends and clients and other people's children. Baby. That was a read, okay? But all of the nurturing work that I've ever done in my life, birthing and mothering my children was by far the most supreme experience of mothering. To mold a being from inside your womb, to share your body with a soul that feeds from your person until he or she arrives on earth is a mighty miracle. As a mother giving birth, you are given the opportunity to be an active part of creation, to experience the volcano like eruption of the earth within you as you crack open into your power. When you are in that birth space, the sacred place, you ride on a sacred wave. With each birthing contraction, how brave you are as you transcend pain and use it as an opportunity to usher in new life. As you give birth to yourself through your child, you will witness your own and your mate's combined love prayer. Motherhood will make you over if you allow it to. It will create, my daughter is so slick, bro. It will create muscle spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and yes, even physically. One, what? I need my mini gun. See? See the ball on it? Mm-hmm. It's the gun. See? Okay, so my daughter had took some watermelon out, and I didn't want it to, I didn't want any bugs to get in it, so I definitely had to put the watermelon away. Thank you all for your patience, and I'm going to jump right back into the reading after I get myself comfortable or results. Okay, that was so gross. But anyways, um, where was I? Motherhood will make you over if you allow it to. It will create muscle spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and yes, even physically. Mothering will keep you in counsel with the Creator from moment to moment so that you will be properly and wisely guided. Motherhood, if you don't fight it, run from it, or rebel against it, will teach you how to master your very life. Mothering will show you the way to unconditional, all embracing love. It will teach you how to absolutely put your trust in the Creator. To receive the position of motherhood is truly honorable work. This station can help you to evolve to your highest of highs. However, if you are not supported by a loving husband, the children's father, or blood or extended family, the task can break you down. Even when you have full support of your mothering, you may still find this the most challenging, transformational work you've ever undertaken. Motherhood is a test of faith, love, and strength. Motherhood forces some and aids others to blossom into their absolute womanness. And yet, the birthing of a baby is not a requirement for developing the art and science of mothering. To mother means to master the art of the nurturing spirit. Mothering calls you to order. It demands that you move beyond being weak, impatient, quick to anger. Mothering calls on you to speak and act from your spiritual center, which may supply you with the answers for all your questions and concerns on mothering. Mothering is the ultimate healing work. Mother Earth teaches us through the Creator how to be good mothers. For Mother Earth loves her children one and all. She feeds us from her waters and land. She gives us her pure air. Mother Earth supports us in peace as we rest on her fields, grass, and trees so that we can feel secure. Mother Earth takes care of us, and this allows us to continue to care for our children everywhere. In fact, in the act of mothering, there are moments when our children and the conditions surrounding them may be harsh and unyielding. You may from the time to time feel unappreciated, and reciprocity may not be in the air. A tear drops, the pain of motherhood pulls at your heart. Sometimes the lessons of motherhood come from child to mother. That's when you need to hold on with all your might to the Supreme Mother. She is there eternally to nurture you, heal you, and lighten your heart. To be a mother is to be in a supreme position of power, peace, and strength. Sometimes motherhood feels so good and comforting. It's like eating cornbread, barbecued soya chicken, and meatless collard greens with a jar of honey lemonade at a family reunion in grandmother's backyard on a hot summer day. Motherhood. Yum. I'm full. Mother to daughter. Mothers, take time to teach your daughters whose wombs have not yet been touched by the world. Show them by your example what is and is not to be. Follow your intuition and your knowledge. Guide them about how to respect their sacred wombs. Anoint and bless your daughter's womb, heart, and mind every new moon or at the onset of her menses. Teach her how to care for her sacred holy womb through the teachings of natural law. Whisper in her ear at night like the old folks did. Tell her, your womb is sacred, for you are sacred. Tell your daughter that she is beautiful. Tell her she is like a crystal, a pearl, or another precious gem. Tell her that she is as lovely as roses and orchids. Your beloved daughter is to be appreciated as one of the flowers of Mother Earth. Let your daughter know that she is worthy of all the Creator's love and blessings. Hug her often and kiss her crown. Rock her when possible so she will know you as her foundation, her solid ground. Talk to her and tell her what's in your heart. Listen to her closely. Let nothing be so big or small that she cannot talk to you. Keep her heart sweet by exposing her to the beauty of the world. Keep her mindful of the world and its adversity in order to help her develop her highest compassionate and intellectual level. Let her know her womb is an extension of her mind. Adorn her mind with lots of love so her life will be sublime. Y'all, reading that, it's like, I told y'all. Because I'm just thinking about my daughter, and it's like, since she was born, before she was born, I said, I just want her to be surrounded by elevation. I want her to experience life. I want her to be cultured. I want her to have everything that demographically um, was supposed to continue to keep us down and, and in a box, you know. I wanted to pour love into her, and I wanted good people to support that love I poured into her, and I wanted that love from them to pour into her as well. So I just always wanted her to think highly of herself, which is why I call her my princess. You know, she's my heiress, my royal, my mini royal. And I said that last video. I continue to call everybody's children's mini royals because that's exactly what they are and that's who they are. Um, but definitely, like, I'ma tear up, y'all. I'ma tear up. I'ma tear up during this read. Don't talk. Do not talk about me. Okay? Don't judge me. Okay? That's how much I love my daughter. Like, I'm gonna continue reading, but that's how much I love her. A village, a village of sister mothers. At a workshop where we'd been talking about mother-daughter relationships, Sharon came up to me and told me that at the age of 12, her daughter, Lawana, had come to the conclusion that Sharon had certain gaps in her mothering abilities. What? This isn't unusual around this sensitive age, but instead of attacking or fighting with her mother all the time, Lawana tried what she later called her Village of Sister Mothers approach. Luana approached four of her mother's closest friends, each of whom had a special gift, at least in Luana's eyes, that represented an aspect of education as a young woman that she felt she couldn't get from her mother. She picked a mother who ran her own store for practical in the real world advice. She asked another mother, a designer and the most elegant and alluring woman in the village, for advice on clothes and hair and makeup. And boys. She picked a healer mother for a spiritual advice and a fourth mother who was a high school teacher for advice about coping with all the stresses of school, getting into college, and dealing with new challenges there. She also figured she could go to them for advice on how to deal with her mom, since they knew Sharon so well. Luana had then approached each sister mother individually and asked if she'd be willing to be a part of the village of sister mother circles. They were all flattered and genuinely pleased to support Luana in this way. It's one thing to become a godmother because the parents of the child ask you at the naming of the ceremony. But when the young woman herself asks you when she's older and more aware, it is a very special gift, especially to women who may not have their own biological children. Honorary sister mothers are valued for who they are and the special gifts they have to offer. Each potential sister mother checked out this new relationship proposal with Sharon, who was surprised but delighted. She thought this was a brilliant thing for her daughter to do, and it would take a lot of pressure off of both of them. A lot of pressure off them both. This was how the Sister Mother Circle was born. Luana felt free to consult with any of her sister mothers when she had a problem in the area of expertise. Before long, it dawned on both Sharon and Luana that their relationship, where did that space go, had improved as well. The Sister Mother Circle still exists today. Even though Luana is in her late 20s, there is a bug, y'all. Oh my God. What? Ow! Go away, Mr. Bug. Girl, let me tell you something, okay? Because I almost turned into a track star. She's a runner. She's a track star for real because it just came up out of nowhere. I'm glad there was something right here for me to smack it. Whew. Y'all, let me regain composure. My bad. I don't know what kind of bug that was. It was long. It had like 6 legs. Uh-uh. Not over here, you won't. I'm normally not one for violence, but you came in my house. I ain't go to your house. Don't tag me. Anyways, the Sister Mother Circle still exists today, even though Luana is in her late 20s, married, and a new mother. Oh, she moved fast. My bad. Essentially, What Luana created for herself was the old African tradition of extended family, Ashe. She created her own village to help raise her, and now she's extending that wisdom to the raising of her own child. There is no reason why we can't create a system of the circle for ourselves, no matter how old we may be or whether our mothers are alive or no longer with us. We all need the good mothering we can get. So think about who you might choose for your own godmother circle and invite them in. And also think about suggesting this wisdom to your daughter the next time she criticizes you for your inadequacies, that she might want to create a sister mother circle for herself. Who knows? You may end up being in someone's. Turning the page. Don't judge me. I never told y'all I could sing. Someone else's sister mother circle, and the circle of love and caring and mothering will help expanding like the ripples of a stone thrown in a pond. Mothering to son. I don't have a son. I thought my daughter was gonna be a boy, but she's definitely a girl. So I have nephews though. I have nephews. Y'all know my legs be falling asleep. It's so disrespectful. So disrespectful. My son, so she is about to talk about her son, Supernova. Every time I say his name, I legit want to like dance. But I just think his name is like Mando. Shout out to Queen Flora for giving her son such a dope name. Like, that's dope. My son, Supernova Slom, Slom, Dowd, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce that, helped me to organize the contents of this book. And just as I was about to release it, he said, "Ma, you speak about all forms of relationships in your book, but what about me, your son? We really have such a great relationship. Why not write on mothers to sons?" After thinking about it for some time, here is what I have to say. Being the mother of sons as well as daughters is so fulfilling, and also at times quite overwhelming and demanding. But whatever else motherhood may be for me, it contains many divine lessons, and I embrace them willingly. For example, a son at times may try to be a father and tell his mother what to do. When this happens to me, I just stand up on the kitchen table and shout, "Wait a minute! I'm the mother in here, and I run this ship." Y'all ever, like, my granny used to do that. Not actually stand up on the table, but she used to have to get my uncles together, okay? Like, I can just see my granny right now. Oh my gosh, that just brought back a memory, like, because I don't know who my uncle thought he was that day. No, he was not going to try my granny. He was not going to try. Oh, excuse me. Moments. Inner thoughts coming out. Bringing them back in. Focusing on the book. I'm getting there, people. Dynamic, spontaneous mother can bring so many marvelous happenings out of you. Stay in tune and witness how the Creator will work through you. My children's father and I separated many moons ago. As a mother, I was required not only to give the normal ratio of love and compassion that a mother gives, but I found myself having to pull out the father in me and be this firm, strong, armed person. Many times I felt like I was simply not enough. But as the years went on and the tears fell, I stayed prayerful and continued to purify, and I was shown the way. Yeah. The Creator guides me and teaches me how to raise my sons to become whole human beings in a disjointed world, to make my life a little easier and my sons more balanced. I make sure they have access to many wonderful men who will assist them in their growth process. These men include physical and spiritual uncles, an attentive and caring stepfather, mentors, and friends. Through their most formative years, grades 1 to 8, I sent the boys to African culture schools that served vegetarian meals to enhance their living a clean, natural life. These schools also help them strengthen and maintain strong, positive self image of who they are and where they come from. They were taught not a heritage of slavery, but rather a heritage of ma'at, righteousness, dignity, intelligence, strength, and prosperity. I was on a journey, all of their young lives, to encircle them with a rich sense of self awareness, love, support, and high thinking. For example, my youngest child went to Indosha Martial Arts and Culture School for discipline for the character building influences of powerful upright men. Both of my sons went through their rites of passage just by becoming into contact with the positive influential male role models in the community. Together, they took the shrine of Patah Wataru African Nile Valley Rites of Passage training for a solid base in African spirituality and self knowledge. Their birth father gave them a spiritual bath and words of wisdom as they took their final steps into manhood. As a result, my sons are growing up to be strong leaders and mentors for other young males. They are they are sensitive, loving, strong, intelligent, vegetarian visionaries. We talk a great deal, my sons and I, about our individual and collective aspirations, inner feelings, hopes, and dreams. Ours is truly a blessed relationship. I think that's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to continue reading. I'm on the top of page 305. For those women who have been able to maintain a healthy marriage, which helps in raising healthy children, all power. For those like myself who become a divorced or single parent, you must expand yourselves to be wiser and more loving. Hug harder, talk more, play with great vigor, love deeply, and let loose all your creativity. It's what I had to be both a mother and a father to my sons. For the love of my boys, I would go through fire, and I did on many occasions, with all of the early challenges that come with raising my sons into young men. When he was 17, I had to send my eldest son, Supernova, to his father's people in South Carolina for a year to get him off the streets of New York and save his life. I took myself and my younger son, Ali, to St. Thomas Virgin Islands to live and attend school for 6 months to help him tap back into his soul. I traveled up and down the highways of life as I followed the Creator's healing voice for help. Oh, yes, I was driven. I'm getting chills because I know she's speaking truth. To stretch myself wide open to rise in the spirit so that my sons would grow into whole men. The African mindset is that traditionally, our children inherit what and who we are as part of their legacy. I affirm this to be true. For one day, my younger son was assisting his grandmother in producing some of our Heal Thyself products in our kitchen healing laboratory. When he looked up at me, he said, "Mom, besides becoming a medical doctor and helping to deliver babies, when I grow up, I'm going to help manage our family business, the Heal Thyself Center, to help your work to grow." And then he went back to work. My eldest son at 19 said to me when I was feeling down and bewildered over my life's work, "Don't worry, Mom. I'll represent you. I'll enforce your teachings. You see, I'm a warrior of the Creator, so I must hold up the banner of liberation through purification. I can represent you well because I'm a chlorophyllian, one who eats and drinks mostly green vegetables." He then leaned forward and kissed my forehead, which warmed my heart. When your reflections in the form of your children turn their heads and hearts back to you, their mother, when they are led to support, heal, and uplift, my. Words fall, words fail to convey the gratitude that a mother has for the Creator's world of divinity, expressing itself through her children. Many a time my mama would say that it would not be easy raising boys, and she was right. But Lord, it has been good for my soul. I can only offer endless thanks and praise for being the mother of these two precious sons of mine. Y'all, it's getting into the thick of it. Thank you, Mama, for loving me. Mama is so rich in her ways. She loves life by living effortlessly. She's like a beautiful meditation. Mama has cultivated me with as much care as one would cultivate a beautiful rose garden. Thank you to my mother, Ida Robinson, who has been a wonderful example of the total personification of peace. Be still. Y'all, every time I read Peace Be Still, I think about Medea. I carries me a piece of steel, and then I think about my granny, because she carried her a piece of steel. So, no matter how intense life got to be, or how turbulent the roller coaster of living became, you were always like the dove, sitting peacefully undisturbed by the confusion or the challenges of life's ups and downs. What? Okay, hold on. Thank you, Mama, for showing me that. No. Thank you, Mama, for showing me what peace looks like up under. Excuse me, just a little moment. Thank you, Mama, for the graceful ways you walked, the regal way you sat, the gentle way you laughed, and the soft way you spoke. What an exquisite image you gave me about the beauty there is in being a woman. Thank you, Mama, for supporting my entire life, my children, my work, my associations, my mate, my whole being. The work that I was destined to do could not have happened without you. Thank you, Mama, for keeping me on the stoop in the house and out of trouble as a young girl. It paid off later, as you and the old folks knew it would. Boy, when I tell you, I used to want to, like, I used to want to, like, explore my neighborhood so bad, but the way my neighborhood was set up, I was not allowed to go past one street to the next, and the community of people around me would definitely tell on me very quickly if I passed certain streets in my neighborhood. It was such protection. It was so much love. But yeah, I encourage you to all to continue to read her discussing. Just go get a spoon. I encourage you all to continue to read that particular message. And I would also like to encourage you to read um, the rest of page 306, as well as continue to read page 307. Oh, I don't understand. All right, so I am going to pick up reading on page 309, at the top of page 309. These the parts that I chose to skip over, I really, really, really want you all to read that. It is the sister to sister growing into woman to woman, and it's a beautiful read. I've got this book like mad marked up like this. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I have so many notes in here and just like underline this and underline that. So please take your time and read that. I feel like that's a great section to read through by yourself. Um, 309. I have a lot of markings on the page as well. Okay, so 309. The bitch. See you later. The bitch, how she got that way and how to heal her. Let me baby, because this, and I think this is why I love the last chapter, but I love this chapter because, or this particular part of this book, because it will showcase you women um, when you encounter them along your healing journey, and hopefully will assist you in being able to identify these women. Um, Not that every woman you're gonna come across is a bitch, but if you do, and how she actually explains this. When you come into these certain energies or these particular women, just know that they are at a healing stage in their journey. And know that when you meet people, they are a reflection of you, whether that be a present you, a past you, or you know what I'm saying? It's still a reflection of you. There's something for you to learn from that particular interaction. So just be cognizant and very mindful about the different energies you are interacting with along your healing journey, and you know, developing women's circles, connecting with different women as we continue to embark on our entrepreneurial journeys and continue to want to thrive and create better nations for our people. So let's get into it. Into the thick of it. Okay, seriously. What happens to a people when they are stolen away from their home, then endlessly used and abused by another group of people for personal diabolical gain? What happens to the generations of women of such a tribe who are continuously raped for hundreds of years by their oppressors for pleasure and profit? What happens to a once whole, beautiful African woman who was forced to bear the babies conceived under such defiling circumstances? One of the negative things that can happen to women under such circumstances is bitch possession. The bitch is an unrealized woman encased in pain and filled with fear. She's a woman who feels trapped by life, surrounded by and absorbed in her own waste. The bitch is a negative, evil entity or spirit that possesses the body temple of a woman who has already been filled with rage, hate, envy, and despair. The bitch can possess any woman from any race or status. The bitch is on the opposite pole from the sacred woman, and ultimately she will strangle and destroy the one who is possessed by her. This piece is a response to some of what this society has rendered to my people and to me, and so to me. I have no choice but to share this message because bitch possession in others has hurt me throughout the years. She has given me the blues, made me feel bad about myself, made me feel used. Sisters with bitch possession brought me to tears, leaving me feeling attacked and hopeless. In despair, I shut down so tight no one could get through because I was running scared of her and intimidated. Even my children would tell me, Mama, people make mistake your kindness for weakness. Supernova, my son, would say, Mama, you got to get stronger. You got to speak out and defend yourself. Over the years, my own healing has helped me to see that the bitch is a sick state in a woman and she needs psycho, spiritual, and physical healing and purging. This understanding has allowed my fears of her to turn into compassion. It has allowed me to take the stance of a healer, pulling on my ancestors for strength and clarity. baby, when I tell you, when I read this, I'm telling y'all, this particular chapter, I'm gratitude, deep and immense gratitude, because I was trying to figure it out. I was really trying to figure it out. And I'm so glad that she was able to convey these messages in these pages so eloquently, and that she was able to really break it down. Okay. Um, so what I am going to do is I'm going to read over the different types. Um, okay, the different types of women. Okay, I'm not gonna read everything because I just feel like this is a read that you really, 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 really need to sit down and do your own. Well, yeah, I've been around this type of girl, and you know what? That makes sense of why such and such treated me like that when I was just going to them for this, and it all comes full circle. And if you are one of the women, if on your sacred woman journey and you becoming more sacred, you realize that women are healing at their own rates, and in their own spaces. And when we go to each other and we are um, continuing to heal, that in our healing, when we interact with another woman who may not be as far along or as understanding or as compassionate or as open-minded in some areas, that you know it's okay, and to continue even still to extend compassion and extend love to her. And if she says something mean or derogatory towards you, to not take it personal. Okay, because sometimes you ever meet somebody and they just like snap, like, bitch, what, da 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 da, like they on that, like they really on go, and you don't understand why. You know what I'm saying? Like I encounter, and I have encountered people like that, and you know, sometimes I think I, regardless of what I think, I know that sometimes, majority of the time, it has nothing to do with me, and they need to release their pain to somebody else. And thankfully or hopefully they don't release it to their children or lash out in their children, or they don't want to lash out to their children, so they take it out on another person, which we definitely would prefer. You know what I'm saying? Don't take it out on the babies. Take it out on another person who can get with you if need to, but let's not get to that level, okay? Because we grown. Um, pow pow. Anyways, so yeah, I'm going to just read over them, and let's go over what the definition of bitch is. The Random House College Dictionary defines bitch as 1, a female dog; 2, a lewd woman, meaning obscene, indecent, low, or vulgar. Slang, a malicious woman motivated by viciousness; an unpleasant, selfish woman, anything difficult or unpleasant. Characteristics of a bitch: spiteful, malevolent, which is also a characteristic of a bitch, wishing evil to another or others, sharing ill will, ill disposed, vindictive, evil, harmful injuries. But everybody want to be a bad bitch. Everybody want to be a bad bitch. Everybody looking like they marriage, but they not. All right, y'all know Yo Gotti. If you don't know Yo Gotti, I mean, maybe you don't need to, because Gotti ain't for everybody. Everybody. Yo, I'm tripping. Seriously though, not everybody want to be called. Everybody don't want to call themselves a bitch, but that's the culture. You a bad bitch or not. So she states, why would I talk about the maliciousness and vindictiveness of the bitch and sacred woman? Because the bitch has always been a part of my evolution as far back as I can remember, and I'm certain she's a part of yours. What I said. She's shown up in the form of friends, associates, family members, co-workers, and even healers. Yes, these so-called people out here who claiming that they healing you, and they, baby, I will have a whole story time on that, and I ain't even gonna air nobody out, but girl, you. Anyways, throughout my life, I was raised to be a brownstone princess, and some people have called me a Miss Goody Two Shoes. I was not raised to be a bitch, and as a result, I was not given the tools or the skills to identify, recognize, cope with, work through, handle, or heal the scars the bitch leaves behind. For no one was able to break down for me how to live with the bitch, not in my blood family, in my extended family, or in the society at large. From where I am now in my life, I recognize that there are, let's get into it, chamomile, chamomile women, the calm, gentle type, aloe vera women who are direct but helpful, cayenne and ginger women who are quick, hot, and intense, and clay women who are down to earth, realists, who thrive off nature's grass and trees. And of course, there's the bitch. Yet all women have the potential to be lotus women, spiritually enlightened, gracious, beautiful, compassionate, and whole. Sometimes a bitch develops in a woman who is running scared that she's not enough, not good enough, not strong enough, not powerful enough, not woman enough. When a woman gets pressured, then she can handle. When a woman gets more pressure than she can handle, she sometimes gets possessed by the bitch. A first class bitch develops in a woman who's forced to live under tight conditions, with limited space and limited resources and limited finances, with little or no support from a black man who has experienced his own set of unresolved issues: sexual abuse, rape, and mutilation. The bitch is the result of a well cultivated negative environment. The bitch is a survivalist. She will take you down before she's taken out because she's all about the survival of herself, her children, or her man at whatever cost. Problem is, she needs to watch out. Bitch, she needs to watch out, for the bitch in her will take her out too while she's in the process of doing her thing. Baby, that's a whole read. When I tell you Queen of Fools was not playing when she made this particular chapter, Queen of Fools was not playing when she made this chapter, period. Because this particular chapter, like, I really feel like, oh, y'all don't even understand. I meet women who all the time, they're like, you know, am I, exactly what she said. It's about the survival of herself, her children, and her man at all costs. Period, point blank, the end, done data. I don't think much more needs to be said, and you will run across people that are like this, and these women will tell you. I mean, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna keep reading. That's at the end of the day. That's what I'm gonna keep doing. I'm gonna keep reading. All right. Number one. So she lists the types of bitches um, located here. Okay. When I tell y'all, this was just such an enlightening, it was a beautiful read. I love this part of this book. Okay. Number one, part-time bitch possession. There are part-time bitches who emerge occasionally when the need arises. What? You can turn on and turn off your bitch? Why, yes. They appear to be a normal kind of woman much of the time and may even show genuine kindness. Their sword is not active full time, but if you catch them on the wrong day, You will get sliced and diced at the top of a dime. And when they're done, it's business as usual. Period. Okay? Like, that's not funny. Full-time bitch possession. Some women are full-time bitches, evil all the time, even when they're calmly smiling right at you. Y'all know these women. These wheels of deception are constantly turning towards evil doings. She stirs her pot with her sly words, her poisonous thoughts, and the proverbial evil eye, which is in full effect. She steadily releases venom into the atmosphere, leaving a stench that infects passerby, passers by. For her mission in life is to destroy the very core and essence of life. Beware if you are her chosen victim, for when she strikes, your only way out is to strengthen yourself by raising your vibratory level through fasting and prayer. 3. The sweet bitch possession. Please let us not forget the sweet bitch who manipulates you through apparent kindness. She's the one who will hug and embrace you, appear to be supportive of you, and utter gentle tones towards you as she moves with an easy glide. After being with her, you'll probably feel ecstatic about an exchange, a project, or a promise. And then, about a block later, a day later, a borough or a city away, a month or a year later, you'll realize that you've been had, that something was stolen that you once had, and you have suddenly and drastically been made aware that the bitch took your mind, your confidence, your money, your time, your gift, or your secret with a smile and left you bloody and wounded. The bitch may be skillfully subtle at times and at others overtly ruthless, cutthroat, and deadly. All the various types of bitches are the strongest and their toxic symptoms most venomous during the full moon period and during the time of their menses. Evilness rules within them, especially during this period. Some confuse Sekhmet, the fierce lion-headed Kemet, I don't know why I said Kemet, Kemetic female spiritual guardian with the bitch. But Sekhmet fights to destroy evil. She is not a bitch. And oh my gosh, like, I really wish people would get that into their head. Sekhmet is a healer who won't take anything off anybody, but be it a person, a work society, or an institution. Sekhmet is motivated by Ma'at or justice, where the bitch feeds off consistent diet of greed, lust, fear, anguish, selfishness, control, envy, bitterness, confusion, and deception. The bitch was greatly cultivated during slavery. She is a byproduct of the mass rape of one people by another. She, the black woman, was the bed woman, the property of the European slave owner. At the same time, she was the servant of the European woman, herself notorious for using bitch tactics when striving to control a black woman as a prisoner of slavery. Baby, I almost said something, but I have to remember that that I am working on myself and my healing. Okay, and that's all I'm gonna say. All right, so we're going to go to page 312. I want you to read page 312. We're going to pick up on page 313, where she discusses 14 steps for purging the bitch and returning to the Lotus clan of Sacred Woman. Let's get into it. These 14 steps, and I feel like this is a gem given. Like, this is helping heal. Okay, this is real healing. Okay, because when y'all come across some of these bitches out here in these streets, and you gonna come across them, and you know what really throws me off about some of these particular women is that they show up with a lot of them lead with the religion, and that's what be getting me. Like, y'all step out on this holier foot, like this really holy foot, holier than thou. Oh, I'm a Christian. Oh, or like, girl, or even, you know, I'm a Muslim, or I'm a Buddhist, or this is, or I'm a yoga teacher. Like, bruh, like, period. Like, I'm not trying to. I'm really doing my best not to like talk about some people, because I have met these women along my journey. They have showed up to me as so many different types and forms, when I thought, like, oh well, because this person is a Christian, they not gonna treat me like this. Or because this person believes so much in God, they not they not gonna be this way towards me. Or because she is Ifa or priestess, that she not going to belittle me, or talk to me crazy. And it be those same women who are healers, or giving off this healing quality, and they still have a lot of work to do with themselves. And when I realized, healers need healing too, that's when I was like, you know what, I have learned what I needed to learn from this particular woman, and that's, it's beautiful. But I will not, be upset with her. I will not harbor ill feelings towards her. I will, in the event that we are able to reconnect again, I will be open to what the next chapter may be for us. But I will keep my 10 toes all the way down, because I'm not doing that again. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, it's, oof, gosh. To all of my women teachers I have had, infinite gratitude. I wish you all so much more healing in your life. I wish you, you know, to attract the love that really makes you whole. And I pray for your healing, because sometimes, in this world, you have people that pray for you, but they praying for your downfall, or they're praying, PREY, they're praying on you, to take your joy, to take your light. And you know I I just, I send out love, and I send out light. And I'm extremely grateful for coming, and for you all allowing me to be in your presence, and to be within your spaces, and to take in the knowledge. Okay, because at that time you didn't have to, but many of you have mothered me, and even in my age, and mother you, yeah. So you have been a sister, you have been an aunt, you have been a confidant when I didn't have anybody else to confide into. So I say I say certain things, but I also remain grateful, and I swear to you, I mean that, because in the moment, and even in this moment, and remembering, you know, the harshness I had to get through, to receive the lesson, and to receive the blessing and the blessing, however you would like to say that, it's just been wonderful. Like, I wouldn't I wouldn't not take that same path again, because it provided me with much enlightenment. It provided me, on how to nurture myself, on how to nurture my daughter, on how to love on her, on how to love on myself, and also how to love on a sister, and also when to stop. Okay, because sometimes we're gonna come across women, and they can say that they want all this change, and they want to do better, and they can want these things, but sometimes they're just not ready to commit to it fully. So you have to develop boundaries and learn when to walk away, when to step away and say, you know what, sis, when you're ready, just hit me back up. I'm going to be here for you. And genuinely, wholeheartedly mean that compassionately. So I just wanted to say that. Now we're going to get back into it. These 14 steps will help you break the bitch cycle. To be free, to free yourself and to prevent the ways of the bitch from being passed down to your daughters, follow these 14 steps closely for at least one season. Y'all know what a season is, right? But it's best to adhere to them through 4 full seasons to purge yourself of the bitch. If you have a tendency to be dominating, harsh, judgmental, and sharp tongued with much attitude, acting as an occasional or a full blown, full time bitch, this anti bitch lifestyle regimen will help you make a turn for the better and transform yourself into a lotus or nefer autumn. And so it begins. 1. Confess out loud or to another sister, brother, or just yourself that you have been behaving like a bitch and that you are willing to release the bitch in you. Number 1. Okay, accept it. Okay. It's not kind of like an AA meeting. It's kind of like 12 steps of AA. Not, that's not funny. I was gonna laugh, but then I just okay, I laughed. Number 2. Fast on green vegetable juice, fruit juices, fresh fruit juices, water, herbal blood purifiers, and herbal extract. Comatives such as valerian root, kava kava root, hops, or passiflora. During your menses and around the time of every full moon, take 10. Stop, get that out your mouth. Take 10 to 20 drops in a small glass of water. It is at these times in particular that the bitch can act up the most and cause absolute havoc. 3. To maintain bitch blood, you have to eat a great deal of meat. The blood and flesh of an animal feeds the bitch. Other foods that strengthen bitch possession are sugar, fast foods, junk foods, and fried foods. For a healing change, take on a natural vegetarian lifestyle as a protein source. Consume beans, peas, soya meats, TVP, and raw soap nuts and seeds. Limit your starch intake to small amounts of whole grains. Consume large amounts of fresh, raw, or lightly steamed vegetables. Be sure to drink 12 to 16 ounces of green vegetable juice daily, which will help you maintain a state of balance and harmony. Drink a tonic daily of 2 cloves of mashed garlic and the juice of 1 lemon and 8 to 12 ounces of water. Also drink at least a quart of purified water daily. Please stop wearing all that black. This is number 5. Number 5. Please stop wearing all that black, gray, dark blue, and especially red until you are well. Wear white and pastel colors to lighten up your spirit and to help you open to your higher spiritual gateways. Number 6. Clean up your karma shy. Make a list of all those to whom you've been bitchy, and as you cleanse, write them or call them in person, one by one. Reach out and ask for forgiveness. Offer them a supportive act to balance out your wrongdoing and or help someone else who is in need. Whew, y'all. Yeah, I had to do number 6 at a point in my life because I realized, like, oh, baby, I realized I used to be quick, okay? What would hurt somebody out so quick? And then, like, I realized, like, it was some people I hurt, but I was hurting people because I was hurting, and I had not yet developed, established, or found the tools to help myself heal. And when I came to that realization and point in my life, I literally started calling up people that I hadn't spoken to in years. I mean, years, and I reached out. I will never forget. I was dating this person. I was dating this person, and like me, him, we all went to school together. So it was at like this, little function, and another girl walked by, and she kind of like bumped into him, but it was kind of like flirtatious, but kind of like what your girl gonna do. And but me and this girl was kind of cool, like, or so I thought we were cool. In that particular moment, I saw red because, baby, what you not gonna do is try my man. So like, I just went like off, tried to fight this girl. Like, I was so, it was so ridiculous. And this girl, she and I, we used to go to theme parks together. We used to have slumber parties. We just used to hang tight. But when she did that, I was just like, she mad trying me, and I went bug. Like, I I lost it, and she ended up crying, leaving the event, crying, and you know, legit, I felt like she was scared of me, and I didn't like that. After the fact, like after all of that had played out or whatever, I felt so I felt bad, and I felt good, and I felt bad. I felt good because I was like, now she know that she ain't never gonna do that. But I felt bad because I felt like I lost a friend. And when I ended up calling her back and I apologized to her because I felt like she she had a lot of growing to do in self esteem, and I knew the right trigger words to say to her at that point in time, and I utilized them, without any remorse. And, I looked back at that when I had reached a level of wanting to grow, and I said, I, I can you please forgive me? That's exactly what I said. I said, can you please forgive me? Because, at that time, I was young, I was stupid, and, you know, you were a really good friend to me, and I didn't realize at the time that I should have picked my friends, and really seen exactly where you were coming from and exactly what you were trying to expose to me about that particular person I was with at the time. And, she and I talked on the phone for maybe an hour or two, and, we hashed out a lot of things with one another. And to this day, like, I can, I can hit her up, and she and I, we converse, and we talk about things. She has supported me in my growth and in my journey, and I really felt like I was forgiving. But I just wanted to share that story with y'all because I just wanted y'all to know I'm not too far removed from not too far, because I mean I've had this in the past. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have had to grow. I have seen my growth, and I'm grateful for my growth, and I appreciate my growth in every ounce of me. I am grateful for my growth because I know that I could have easily continued to go the wrong way. Number 7, say thank you more often for any large or small good deed done on your behalf. Number 8, practice smiling from your heart regularly as you send out healings from your heart center. Number 9, over 7 consecutive days, take 7 baths with 2 pounds of sea salt each time to draw out the demon. Take a white candle into your hydrotherapy chamber, your bathroom, and meditate on its flame to clear your spiritual body. Or use a green candle to heal your heart center from the pain and conditions that created the binge qualities. Number 10, practice the Ma'at. Practice the Ma'at feather meditation on page 315 for forgiveness to lighten up your heart. I've also done a meditation in my podcast on that, where I am simply reading exactly the meditation described in the book. I will drop the link for that in the description box below so that you all can partake in that Ma'at feather meditation. Number 11, Cleanse your colon of old toxic waste with 3 enemas a week over a 12-week period. Number 12, travel through and begin to incorporate the wisdom of the various gateways of the sacred woman into your life. Number 13, go on a talk fast for 1 to 8 hours a day, meaning you don't talk to nobody. Anoint yourself with frankincense and myrrh or eucalyptus oil before you begin your talk fast each day. Also, before you begin your talk fast, before you begin, place the me'at feather by your lips so that your words and attitude will lighten up. This way, you will begin to train your mouth to speak from a place of me'at. Number 14, and the last one, is accept and affirm your sacred calling, which will return you to your original state. Allow your higher self to emerge and rescue you from the bitch state. Allow the beautiful lotus in you to open and blossom in the sun. Ashe. This is a beautiful read. Okay. Um, if you have been attacked by a woman possessed by the bitch, if you are a lotus, chamomile, or aloe woman, and you have been attacked by a woman possessed by the bitch, then you too must raise your vibration by following the 14 steps as well, so that you will attract higher relationships from your sisters. Keep in mind that the bitch may even be the reflection of yourself, of your weakness, or maybe she's been sent to bring out your assertiveness, your strength. Even a woman acting like a bitch can teach you some valuable lessons. And that's exactly what I was saying. I learned a lot from some of these women. It's exactly what she said it was. It was sent to strengthen me. It was sent to make me more stronger because certain life situations had weakened me, had made me extremely fragile. Um, and I had lost my way of navigating how to be strong. If that makes sense. I had relinquished a lot of my power to certain situations that had happened, and I was super grateful, super grateful. We'll get into it another time. Honestly, what you can do is you can tap in and click the link below because I'm going to drop my poetry book too, so you can find out more about me and read through my poetry book and read in the back of the chapter and find out about some of my life challenges and really, you know, begin to know who I am from that perspective, and we will keep reading. If you are a lotus woman who has been attacked by the bitch, don't run, have no fear. Turn on the flashlight, let her know that you know what she's doing, and present her with the alternative of walking in righteousness so that both of you can be winners. Create a sister to sister support group of a womb healing circle. Purify and fast together. Together. In reality, no one wants to be a bitch. The one acting out in her natural state is actually suffering from unbearable mental, emotional, and spiritual pain. She's calling out for help. Won't you give a sister your hand? For as those, for as the two, okay, for as the two seemingly opposed women come together and strive to be sisters, the highest degree of healing can't be exchanged. Let's just stop calling ourselves bitches. Instead, let's start calling ourselves hurt women, wounded women, women in need of healing. On the bottom of this page, she talks about journal work, sister to sister dialogue. Um, you're my sister, and I forgive you. One of the best ways to promote sister to sister healing is to do a journal dialogue between your sister friend and yourself. You might start by asking if she's willing to speak with you from her highest self. Then write about how you feel about your relationship. Try not to be accusing, shaming, blaming. Remember, there are no victims here, just relationships in need of purification. Write honestly about how the challenges in your relationship make you feel. Then let her speak and keep going from there. You may be quite surprised about what happens between you by the end of your dialogue. Your relationship with your sister friend may not change as a result of this dialogue because consciously she's unaware of it. The transformation will come through you. The healing will come through you. Your new insights and understanding about your friend and your relationship, your behavior toward her will change. And in time, because all things change, when we do, your friend's behavior will slowly begin to change towards you for the better. On the bottom, okay, at the top, it talks about journal work, sister to sister dialogue. Sisters don't fret because you got it too. It's a beautiful read. I sent my sister some of this, and you everybody won't welcome the change. Some of us continue to reach for those higher places, and some people enjoy the comfort where they where they are at, and that's okay for those people. We have to continue. We don't have to. You can choose to love those people for who they are and what they continue to bring, and the things they don't bring. You don't have to be there for. You can move on and do the things that you need to do. Right. The bottom of page 315, the Ma'at Feather Meditation, Balancing the Heart. Like I said, I will drop a link for that in the description box for you all to follow along with. On 316, there's a Ma'at meditation. And then to end it, yeah. See, I actually signed this page already because I was very proud of myself when I completed this portion. But the most important relationship on earth is your relationship with self. The extent to which you heal yourself is the extent to which you will be able to heal all your relationships. I'm sure you have already improved. Stay on the road, it gets better. Focus not so much on the outer world as your inner environment is healed, the world around you will improve. Self communication, love, unity, and compassion for your sacred self aids you in establishing a sacred relationship with all others. This week, enjoy all of your relationships. List all of your relationships. Explore the current state of these relationships and what you need to do to bring about divine order in each one. Keep praying about purifying these relationships to understand the lesson that each relationship has brought into your life. Practice forgiveness of self and others as you do your daily altar work so that you spiritually cleanse your heart and all your conditions. Process old hurts from unhealed relationships by placing photographs of those who need forgiveness on your altar and chanting, "Love holds no grievances. What's past is past." Perform 7-day prayer work from sacred relationships. Place a photo of your mother and father on your altar in a beautiful frame. Write a love letter to your parents expressing all the gratitude that you have for the relationship that birthed you. Even if right now you don't feel the emotions expressed by the words, writing this letter will begin to heal your heart. For once you come to grips with the foundational relationships in your life, that of your parents, then all of their relationships will prosper and give you hotep. Consciously release old relationships patterns through purification rites, journal work, prayer work, and affirmations. Don't be erratic. And jump into new relationships without hiding, without ridding yourself of old toxic habits that drew in your previous toxic unions. Within the next 7 days, write a thank you letter to all those in your life with whom you are or have been in sacred relationships. Ciao. Um, my bad. Thank each individual for the special riches they bring to your life and place these letters on your altar. Infuse them with more love and gratitude each day. And when things in the and excuse me, and when you complete this gateway, put these love offerings in the mail. If the person has died or has vanished out of your life, then burn the letter with a little sage to begin to release the vibratory pain of your past. That's a great way to do it. Okay, now y'all know what I was telling y'all. My baby falling asleep. Okay. Send love, light, and forgiveness to those you're sending letters to, or who you are on your relationship list during your morning or rising. meditation and prayers. Accept is about nurturing the self, yourself first. Self-worth, self-love must be in place within you in order to establish any divine relationship. It's not about your relationship with him or her. It's about your relationship with self. Once you tend to the relationship, then all others will reflect your personal wellness and wholeness. As you do your journal work and ask yourself what it would take to establish a healthy relationship with self. And then at the end, you get to sign your sacred relationship end of the week commitment. I commit myself to establishing and continuing the wisdom of my act and the power of sacred relationships in all areas of my life. At this point, I low key want to turn around and show y'all my tattoo on my back because, whew, spiritual guardian, my act, gratitude for continuing to watch over me, for continuing to help me balance my heart and the ways of the world, and continuing to keep my heart light when my pains are extremely heavy, and for continuing to wrap me in your love and in your grace, and protecting myself and my child, you know, so and just allowing me to be a truthful person and allowing my truth to be my propeller through life, because some people, and I'm working on this, honestly. That's why it's so important that I continue to tell people about my book, because at one point I was very nervous about um, the contents and the contents and I was having very poor body posture. The contents located within my book and how people would view me, and how how I would come across, and what people would say, and you know um, I was afraid of being judged, and more than anything, I was very, very, very disappointed in the things that I had been through, and it hurt because I didn't want that to be a part of my story. I didn't want any of the actions that took place in my life. I didn't want to claim it. I didn't want to say, yes, this is what happened to me. I didn't want to give that story of validity, or even recognition, to say the least. I wanted it to just disappear. I literally did. But as time grew on, I realized, you know, these lessons are what has molded me to really be who I am. Um, I, at any moment, I could have chosen to do the lowest of low, like, and it would have been easy for me to do those things, and to do those actions. But along my path, I said I want to choose better, and I have to choose better because I have a daughter who, before she got into this world, before she chose me as her mother, or when she chose me as her mother, I said I wanted to provide X, Y, and Z for her. And like I said, I didn't want a lot of these things to be a part of my journey, but you know, the destination, and that's beautiful. Get into these places of understanding self is most definitely beautiful. Um, Continuing to show up and love myself has been the most heartwarming and the most elevating aspect of it all, because when you learn how to love yourself the way you want a spouse to love you, and then you realize maybe you picked the wrong person to love you, that's And instead of you shaming that person for not loving you, you realize how you possibly could have conditioned this person to love you in a less form or less fashion. How you allowed certain things to happen. And I'm talking about myself, so not you, but how I allow certain things to happen. So also taking accountability for things, you know what I'm saying? Not putting it off on other people, just really owning up to the things that I have done. Okay, so I allow certain people to treat me a certain way. Did I believe that what was actually taking place was out of love and was supposed to help me, when in actuality this person had other potential plots or plans? Um, so I would just like to say I absolutely love this chapter and all it opened up for me from my heart space. As y'all see, I'm rocking the green today for the heart space to continue to remain open. So yeah, definitely tap into my poetry book. It provides layers. It provides genuineness, realism. It provides ways for a woman, any woman or man, to really take a different perspective on how you can take pain, and you can either live in that pain. You can put that pain between sheets. You can put that pain on the stage. You can put that pain in into really loving yourself and giving wholeheartedly. And this book is filled with affirmations. My poetry book is filled with affirmations on how to love yourself. And I started doing photo shoots. I started, taking myself out to eat. I started going to do poetry engagements. I started doing all the things I wanted to do but was afraid to do because the person I was with at the time, I hadn't showed them how I really wanted to be in life. I was doing everything from the perspective of this is what I think they want, instead of showing them exactly what I wanted and how I wanted to be loved. And you know, now I know what loving me feels like. Loving me is getting massages. Loving me is traveling. Loving me is reading. Loving me is teaching. Loving me is engaging with like-minded people. Loving me is loving others. Okay. Um, Loving me is continuing to want to expand my mind and to also want to enrich my community. Loving me is definitely and most importantly loving on my child and continuing to show up and be a source of love for her, a source of nurturing, a source. It is a bug on me. Y'all probably like, oh, she got bugs everywhere in her house. No, I just have my door open, so they just feel like it's an open invitation, like it's a party or something. I don't know what's going on, but it's definitely giving where the bug off or spray it or something, because it's giving. Close the door, child. But gratitude you all for joining me this week for our sacred relationships, chapter 12. Next week, we will be diving into chapter 13, sacred union. Okay, so be ready for that sacred union. I might go buy a dress for the sacred union. I don't know. But yeah, we only have two more chapters, guys, and then that's the end of us meeting up. I hope to see you on another sacred journey. But yeah, we only have two more chapters. How dope is that? Like, really, for real. How freaking amazing is that? All right, everybody. So I definitely love you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for listening to me today. I definitely talk more. Oh, and I would like to say before I leave, I feel like I've been opening up more on this platform as well. So it's really been, helping me grow. So if you have been a supporter, thank you. Definite gratitude from the top of the crown to the soles of the toes. Peace, love, and light.